My name is Tarmack, and this is your game industry news wrap-up for the week of January 7th, 2017. HTC has revealed some new peripherals for the Vive VR headset. The Deluxe audio strap adds integrated headphones for those who don't want to run another cable with the long Vive connection, and the Vive tracker is basically just the end of a Vive controller, which could be attached to any real-life object you want to be able to track in VR, like golf clubs, baseball bats, and other TV and wall-destroying peripherals. Steamspy released their estimates for sales numbers on the PC game platform, giving a lovely picture of the health of the PC game side of the industry. Numbers like indie darling Stardew Valley selling through just shy of 2 million units, making Eric Barone a very wealthy one-man show game developer. The most interesting number to me, however, was looking at the number of new releases every month as time goes on, with an astounding 588 new titles in December 2016 alone. I wonder how many of those have trading cards. To the surprise of very few people, DayBreak Game Company, or Sony Online Entertainment as it was known before being bought out by investment firm Columbus Nova, has announced plans to shut down servers for the EverQuest spin-off Landmark. The game officially released on June 10th of 2016 with mostly negative reviews on Steam, and according to DayBreak, there's no possibility of licensing or authorizing fan projects like emulated servers. Another one for the games-as-a-service grinder from Columbus Nova. It's almost as though nobody should trust them to support their products long-term. Mass Effect Andromeda had an official trailer reveal at CES and will be releasing on PC, PS4, PS4 Pro, and Xbox One on March 21st this year. The intended performance is for 30 frames per second with 1080p on PS4 and 900p on Xbox One, with much better being available on PC of course. It will also not have a season pass, but BioWare GM Aaron Flynn declined to comment further on future DLC plans. The game is currently not planned to come to the Nintendo Switch, which really only takes a brief look at the graphics to have fully expected that mobile devices might be a wee bit shy of good enough. Mike Gamble did say that they never want to close doors like that, so it's always a possibility, but unless Nintendo pulls a rabbit out of a hat during their January 12th Switch press event, if the Xbox One can only do 900p at 30 frames per second, it'd probably have to run at 720 sub 30 on the Switch, so maybe it's best that Nintendo sit this one out. Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is going to get some adjustments prior to release on PSN in Australia because it received an M rating down under with the newer Australian rating system. The really bizarre part about this story is that M in Australia is roughly equivalent to a teen rating in North America, able to be bought by children under 15 but classified this way due to violence and nudity of, quote, moderate impact, end quote. Capcom didn't directly comment on what changes they'll be making to their fighting game to get a PG rating, but I wish them luck. Maybe just cut out most of the content like Street Fighter V. If it's not in the game, it can't get rated. nVidia has given up on its Shield and video card exclusivity for the GeForce Now cloud streaming platform and announced compatibility for PC and Mac users. The new opening up of the platform will cost $25 for 20 hours of play on a GTX 1060 equivalent PC or 10 hours of play on a GTX 1080 virtual machine. Unfortunately, GeForce Now still requires the end user to own the game themselves and has noticeable latency issues. So for the price, I think I'd rather stab myself in the eye with a dull spoon. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutants in Manhattan, released in May 2016, has been delisted on Steam along with a couple of Spider-Man games as part of an Activision game licensing purge. There are still physical versions of the game out in the wild if you're willing to search for it, but generally when a company dumps a game license unceremoniously like this, it's because the game is terrible and nobody's buying it. So you may want to give this a pass because it's about as good as an anchovy and marshmallow pizza. The Windows 10 game mode that I reported on last week, which is designed to dedicate system performance to games in the Microsoft operating system, will only function within the Universal Windows Program architecture. It's worth mentioning that UWP isn't a Windows Store exclusive platform, but to date, saying that it's not widely used would be an understatement akin to saying Donald Trump seems like he might not know what he's doing. And finally, Atari is being sued by Frontier Developments over royalty payments for Rollercoaster Tycoon 3. Frontier received about $1.2 million for its role in developing RCT3, and based on evidence it has acquired on game sales numbers, believes it was shorted about another $2.2 million. Atari denied the studio the right to audit, an item in their contract with the Necromantic game publisher, and as a result was forced to file the lawsuit. If they're successful, Atari could use revenue from the newly released early access title Rollercoaster Tycoon World, which has around 120,000 mostly disappointed owners. Wouldn't that be a fittingly ironic end to the situation? This has been your Game Industry News Wrap-Up for the week of January 7th, 2017. I'd like to encourage you to swing by Discord chat for some game-based discussion. There's an invite link in the description for that. And if you enjoy the content that I do, you can net yourself some shiny little rewards on patreon.com/Tarmack. That's my name. Thanks for watching.